So you bought a stock, but how do you stay up to date on said security? That's what I'm going to cover in this video. So guys, as you smash that like button, let me run that intro. What's up guys, and welcome back once again to the Q&A series that I'm doing on this channel, because there just seems to be a lot of questions that you guys have on topics that really aren't covered much on the internet, or at least on YouTube, mostly because I think in the investment community, you know, all of these like really interesting type of topics, they don't really get a lot of views. The videos that get a lot of views on the internet or on YouTube are more like the superficial analysis, you know, how can I get rich really quick type of stuff. And now that so many of you are now supporting the Patreon, I'm actually shifting the content to dealing with more of like stuff that will actually help you. Now, here's the thing about this question. This question is very interesting because I actually didn't learn how to track my securities until I started working in equity research, and I had some of the best analysts teach me how to do it. And so let's dive into this question, and I'll show you some really good resources where you can use to stay up to date on your securities. So the question is, how do you stay informed about the companies in your investment universe? So let's use Zillow as an example. So the first thing that you guys will be aware of is when you go into the investor relations section for many of these companies, they will provide you with the ability to sign up for press releases or like email alerts for press releases, SEC filings, events, presentations, etc. Like you can sign up for all of the stuff that their investor relations team puts out there. And so, for example, with Zillow, I would sign up for their press releases because I would cover their events as well. Their SEC filings, this might be a little bit too much. You might not necessarily want the SEC filings. You might just want the press releases and presentations. I like to look at the presentations as they come out, so I do like them being sent out to my email. But just the press releases and the presentations themselves, you'll get pretty much everything that you need to know about the company, and you'll be up to date on it as of the issue of the press release, because listen, it's all sent out at the same time. And so you bought the stock, you own it. The best place to stay up to date on the security is through the press releases. But I want to give you some other additional resources. So sometimes the companies don't actually send you email alerts for when they update their presentations, but you might actually want an update on the monthly presentations. And the reason why you might want that is you might be invested in a commodity type company or an insurance type company where you want monthly updates on what's happening with the organization, because things can change really quickly and you just want to have access to the most up-to-date information. So I would recommend that you go on their investor relations page and look for their presentations, and you can find the most up-to-date presentation every month. Zillow is a great example because they put out an investor deck every month. Now, this one is more as you're building out your models for the companies, but you know, sometimes you don't want all of those emails in your account, and that's fine too. The one area that I will go at least before every quarter, as I just want to like primer myself on the company, is I'll skim through all the press releases and just look for something that's very important, or the press releases that look very important that came out subsequent to for the last quarterly report. And so if there's anything there that stands out to me, I'll dive into it. And so, you know, just looking through the press releases is another place where you can get information. Not all the press releases are sent out all the time, so you know, just going into this section. Now, a lot of you guys probably are aware of this section, but just if you aren't, it's there. The next item that I want to show you is something that I really highly recommend that you read every single quarter for every single one of your companies. And I would argue that around 95% of retail investors do not do this one thing that can help them save so much money by not investing in the wrong types of opportunities. And that is reading the transcripts of all of your companies. Look, the more of these transcripts you read, especially as you own the shares, the more you're going to learn about the business and the better you're going to be able to think about it. And so if you've accidentally purchased a company based on hype, well, this is your opportunity to sort of like understand the business better and continue to decide every quarter as you read these transcripts if this is something that you want to continue investing in. There have been times where I've purchased a security and then I told myself after reading the transcripts that, you know what, I've deluded myself into into believing in the management's forecast or into the story of the business, and I decided, you know what, I'm no longer interested in this company and I'm going to sell it. Or, you know, management mentioned something that I disagree with, I don't believe that it's in line with their long-term strategy, and I'll sell the business as well. But sometimes, you know, the companies will be going through a challenging environment. However, in the transcript, you'll see how they're addressing it. And I've talked about this many times on this channel. I talked about it with Meta, I've talked about it with Alphabet, and I'll continue to talk about it because I think the transcript provides you with a lot of detail that gets skipped in the media. And so you can get a better understanding of the direction of the company than most investors by just reading the transcripts. Now, I use Seeking Alpha to get the transcripts, but you can actually get them online. You know, Seeking Alpha wants to partner with this channel, but I'm just too lazy. I just pay for a subscription anyways. This channel's never been really made to make money. It's more just to like help people, but maybe one day you might see like a link to a discount from Seeking Alpha. And this last area where you can go and get information is something that virtually nobody goes and looks into except for equity research analysts, and that is industry reports. So for example, with Zillow, the first place that I would want to go is the National Association of Home Builders. Whatever company you're invested in, they probably have something similar to this. So every industry has an industry association, and you should try to get as much information as you can. If you're considering a large investment in a particular industry, you may want to consider an industry association membership. And so, you know, in the investing in the oil business, there is certain websites that I would go to. Of course, housing, you saw the website that I go to for housing. For retail, there's certain websites that I go for retail, or certain associations that I go to. So there's all sorts of this stuff available to you so long as you want to take advantage of it. Now here's the thing, what if you want an email alert on a company but they don't provide you the option on their investor relations website to set up an email alert? Well, you know, there was a trick that I used when I worked in equity research to sort of get around this. So what I did was I created a daily news alert for all of my securities, and the way that I did that, I'm just going to show it to you here so that you guys don't have to go and look for it. So you go to Google Alerts, and then you just follow these steps, and you can change how often you want to get your notifications. For example, right now I get daily notifications for Ant Group and Alibaba because I just want to be completely up to date on that position. I also get daily updates for my home builders that I own. And then of course, just click create alert and you'll get emails whenever Google finds matching search results. So this is a great way to create an alert or create multiple alerts all at once for everything in your portfolio. So I really hope this helps you guys. And just a quick way to do it, of course, is just go to www.google.com/alerts and then just type in whatever you want to create an alert about, and you can do it right here. So I hope this works for most of you guys. Now, another way that you guys can actually stay up to date on securities is by using the tracker that I provide the Patreons. And this is what I mean. You can see that on the side here of the tracker, I actually have a model last update date. And so what you can actually do is when you're part of the tracker, or when you get access to the tracker at that lower tier of the Patreon, you can actually look here and say, okay, well, when was the last time I went on this guy's tracker and what's changed since then? So for example, you can see that there was a company that was updated on February 2nd, 2023. So you may not have seen any of the updated models in 2023. So that might be a good time to go on the tracker and take a look and see what has changed with these companies, and then ask for yourself, you know, do you agree with the forecasts that have been made? I always put notes in the assumptions as to why I'm forecasting out certain things at certain rates. And so this is another way that you can tell if certain changes are made that impacted the companies to the point where the tracker got updated in between, you know, quarterly results. Now, I just showed you unlocked one of them, so like Alibaba. So you can see that the last time I updated the Alibaba model was December 21st of 2022 as of the recording of this video. And then you can see right across where, you know, this is still my intrinsic value, which is around $220 per share. It's currently trading at $106 per share. So it's still trading at under 50% of its intrinsic value. And so, you know, when you get access to the tracker, you unlock all the companies here above and below Alibaba. And how do you get access to the tracker? Well, you can get access to it at the lower tier of the Patreon. Now, here's something interesting that happens. When the tracker originally existed, a lot of people wanted to jump on sort of like monthly calls. And so I created this live call tier. And what I find happens is that people join the tracker and then they want to really hear the stories and join us live on a monthly call, and then they generally upgrade. So, you know, I recommend you join the tracker, see if you like it, see if it's enough value at that lower tier, just $5 a month. I'm really not trying to make a ton of money from you. And then ask yourself if you do want to join us at that higher tier. But, you know, I'm not going to try and sell that to you, but it's just another tool. And so I really hope you utilize the free tools first, of course. But if you want to get access to the tracker and you want to join us every month, that is available to you as well. And so I'll leave it there, guys. But here's the thing, this Q&A series is just going to keep going. And so if you've missed any of the videos in this Q&A series, no problem. Click on this link right here.